Hello, 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 and welcome to Teta's podcast. As every 7, we are here. Welcome to the August 7 episode. And to start with this, because this is a big deal, what is happening tonight. Witnessing your performance was nothing short of inspiring. From the moment you stepped on stage, you command attention with the sheer confidence and sass you brought to every character. Today, for me, is an honor to have a person that I only met in University of Minnesota a couple weeks ago. But let me tell you, poetic storyteller, resilient keynote speaker, author, actor, and a wonderful woman, Michelle Perdue. It's an honor to have you here tonight.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for saying yes right away in your birthday week, actually. So thank you to jump in and say yes to this conversation. For me, is a humbling, like you present is a lot, but then when you read your resume is impressive.
Oh, thank you so much. You know, I have to say that when I met you a couple of weeks ago, I was just blown away by your energy and everything that you represented at your table. And I was just so inspired by you. I was like, who is this lady? I have to get to know her. And it's just so ironic or that we were able to connect. And now here we are today. So
here we are.
This is
sitting
great.
down, having the conversation. I love it. We're talking about resilience. We're talking about your journey. We're talking about everything that I think that will help a lot of people, will help me to learn all your journey, and also a lot of people there who are going through the same that we are going through. It's a fact that we are sitting down at this table because of what happened and because of that diagnostic. So tell us, when that big word knocked your door?
Yes, and it is a big word. Well, in 2017, I remember being in my kitchen. It was just a normal day. I work from home, and I received this phone call that literally changed my life. And I remember having this conversation where the nurse on the phone said, well, Michelle, we don't know if we found calcifications or if we found cancer. And my heart literally dropped. I remember being home by myself. My kids were at school. My husband was at work. And I remember thinking, is this real? Could this really be happening at this moment? Because I didn't understand, because a year prior, I went and had my annual mammogram. It was fine. It was normal. So I didn't expect anything different this time. And so when she said to me, well, we don't know if we found calcifications or cancer, I was confused. I was afraid. I had so many emotions that was going on at the same time.
Absolutely.
Right? And I just remember slowly breaking down in tears. Right?
And it's like a painful falling, because it's not even the big, you have cancer. Mm-hmm. But the you may or may not. So it's that doubt that,
exactly.
Wait, it can or cannot be possible. So it's like a slow falling.
Yes. And what's really interesting, Vanessa, is that in 2008, my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer. And I remember her telling me on the phone, well, Michelle, the doctor said that they can't see me for another maybe 2 months. And I thought to myself, you know, this isn't right. You need to be seen as soon as possible. And I think it had to do with an insurance issue. So I said, well, if I find a doctor for you to go to here in Minnesota, would you come? And so I got on the phone right away. I started calling different organizations to see who could help my mom. And long story short, she came to Minnesota and she was diagnosed with breast cancer. And I remember seeing her experiencing the news, getting the news over the phone, and her reaction. And I remember
you were there with her.
I was there with her when she got the news on the phone. And the only reason why she checked to see if she had a lump was because she had two other sisters who were experiencing breast cancer at the same time. So my mother and her two sisters, all three of them were diagnosed with breast cancer during the same time. And all I remember was, I need to be here for my mom. But Vanessa, I have to tell you, it's one thing to be of support to someone who has breast cancer and just imagine what they're going through. But it's another thing when you yourself are diagnosed with breast cancer, right? I can't tell you, as I mentioned, it's scary. It's very scary because your life comes before you. You don't know if immediately you jump to the future, right? You start to wonder, am I going to be here? Am I going to be here for my kids? Am I going to be here to live out my purpose, right?
Absolutely.
So just a very scary time.
How is your family after that diagnostic? Multiple, your aunties, your mom. How is your family?
How are they now?
Yes.
My mom, unfortunately, right now, she's dealing with some health challenges. She's in the hospital. And my other two aunts, they have now passed away.
Due cancer?
Not due to cancer,
okay,
but to their own other medical.
I'm so sorry
issues.
About your loss. I all the time ask because it's the, as I all the time say, like, I like to go to places like, of course they go through that, but they pass through that storm. And then other health situations for me it's good to clarify like what happened.
Yeah.
In that way people have an idea of like, and I'm sorry for your loss. I bet it was hard when you go through that journey with them, with your family. And then years and years later, they knock the door for you. Yeah. And then it's what I tell you, in a different, as you say, in a totally different, when you are the protagonist of the story.
Yeah, because life gets so busy and you don't think that it's going to happen to you per se. You know what I mean? And
absolutely. I know exactly what you mean. Like, imagine for some reason, and we have a connection. Like, oh yeah, all the cancers are connected with someone in the family because you have a mom or a aunties. But 80% of the cancers or more are not connected with genetics. So that was the case of my cancer. My cancer don't have, and even though some cancers, like let's say your mom have cancer, it maybe not have a genetic connection there too. That's what people don't know. Sometimes we assume, because the mom, no. They may be not correlated. And so I know how sometimes it can be a surprise. Even like it is a surprise, no matter what. It's such a hard thing to process.
And I did do the genetic testing. And it came out that it wasn't genetic.
You see?
So there you go.
You see, it's what people sometimes don't realize. Like, even if your family going through, if your mom, it's a surprise because it's no connection sometimes. And of course, they don't know what triggered that in us to go for it. But it's definitely a surprise that no one, of course, want to wake up or be in that call. What was it? That first days, you get a confirmation. Yes, it's cancer. Mm-hmm. What was it? What was in Michelle's brain in that moment?
I remember a few days later, my daughter was celebrating her 7th birthday, and I was giving her birthday party at our house. And I remember little girls coming over, and I was trying to put on a smile, right? I was trying to show this I'm strong and I can get through this. But at the same time, I was feeling as if I was having an out-of-body experience, as if I was going through the motions and as if I was there physically, but I wasn't there emotionally, right? I felt there was this huge disconnect. And I remember when I found out that my doctor was recommending that I have a double mastectomy, I was at the Mall of America.
What?
Yes, I know. I was at the Mall of America with my 2 children. I believe at the time they were 7 and 9 years old. My daughter 7, my son 9. And I took them to the, where all the rides are, and just to kind of get away from it all. And because I didn't want them to be consumed by what I was going through. And I remember my phone ringing and my doctor saying to me that she could not find a clear margin and that she recommended that I have a double mastectomy. And that was devastating for me.
Absolutely.
It was devastating because I wanted my breast.
You want your tetas. You want your tetas. Of course. Like for me, like tetas literally represent the most feminism for us. You know, the most like, yes, it's part of what we are as a woman, or identities, or tits there, or boobs, or breast.
Absolutely.
And then there's someone there like, that's it. It will be a mutilation because you have a mutilation in your body and you will lose this organ, and that's it. Like it's a shocking news. And I feel sometimes people take surgery like oh no, it's huge. This is huge, and not only the surgery but also the treatments. Talk about what do you decide then in the treatments?
Well, I decided not to have reconstructive surgery. I was okay with just being flat. At that point, I just celebrated my 30th year wedding anniversary with my husband. And I felt pretty confident in who I was as a person. And I felt that, and it took me a little bit of time. Don't get me wrong. It didn't happen overnight. But over time, I realized, my breasts do not define me, right? I have an opportunity to have a voice and defining myself.
So powerful.
And so I didn't have surgery. And that was a decision that I made, and I'm glad that I made it. And I know that it's different for everybody, everyone.
Absolutely. And as I all the time say, like, your decision is your decision. Me, like you, I go through no reconstruction, unilateral mastectomy.
Yeah.
I left one, I have implants, and then like one was removed and I go flat. Yeah. And a lot of people tell me the same, like, hey, the insurance cover? Do you want to put boobs? Yeah. No, I gonna go flat, but as I all the time say, is that decision, after you receive that devastating news that you will lose your breast, that decision is yours. What do you feel? Do you feel to put implants again? Do you feel like stay flat? Do you feel like it's what stage you have in your life and what information you have?
Absolutely.
What is in your heart, following your intuition? And the decision everyone take is the best decision for them.
Absolutely. And, honestly, Vanessa, because I had gone through so much in my journey of recovery, that was the least of my worries in terms of wanting to have breast. I was one of those women who was always like the 3% of everything happening, or whether it was 3% or 10%, meaning I always seem to fall on the short end of the stick in terms of my surgery. So during my double mastectomy, I ended up on the operating table 3 times in one night.
Why?
Yes, because they couldn't stop the bleeding. And I didn't understand why this person was next to me the whole time after my surgery. And I had this kind of like this bulb that kept filling up. And apparently I just kept bleeding out. And so they took me back to the operating room, and they undid me. I felt like a scarecrow.
But
right. And so my doctor had left for the evening. And so I ended up having someone else do my surgery. And I remember during the course of this going to the bathroom, and I remember slowly losing consciousness and falling to the floor. And my husband saying to me, he was calling out my name, and he was saying, Michelle, but I couldn't respond to him. And as I said, I ended up on the operating table altogether 3 times in one night. And so it's by the grace of God that I am here today. And so I promised myself that once I was able to get through chemotherapy and get through my surgeries, because before I had a double mastectomy, I had a lumpectomy. And I had complications with that where they couldn't stop the bleeding as well. And I remember thinking to myself, God, if I could just get through this, I know that I want to make a difference in the lives of other women who are battling breast cancer. And that's what inspired me to write my one woman show,
Yes.
Thrive. And it's been a journey, but it's been a beautiful journey. There's been ups and downs, but I've stayed the course. And if I can share my story with other women in hopes that it will elevate their humanity, that it will make them stand a little taller and smile a little brighter, that to me is worth its weight in gold.
Michelle,
Yeah.
thank you for sharing such a vulnerable moment, such a scary moments for you and for your husband, and you definitely are shining, not only you, but elevating, as you say, so many women, not only with your show that we were talking about that show this over the years coming up, but also with your book, with your resilient keynote speaking. You are inspiring so many with everything that you're doing. Here is her book. You can get it in Amazon, and is Rise and Shine. That is exactly what she did after such a difficult time and as a, such a complications. And then you inspired others. Tell me about the journey of transforming these lemons to lemonade.
Yeah.
And starting to rise others with you, like start to helping others. We are going through the same, like keynote speaking, book. Tell me the whole thing about it and how you find that strength to keep going and keep going not only, but keep going strong.
Well, I believe that what has inspired me to continue to put one foot in front of the other is to reconnect with my why and understand what my purpose is in life. And I think that once I understood the assignment, meaning why I was meant to um, be on the was why I'm on this planet. I realized that my why is so much bigger than my pain, my sorrows, my fears, and my doubts, right? Because when I think about what my purpose is, I think about what it is that I have to give to others. And when I think about me giving to others, it takes away all of my fears of what I'm dealing with emotionally. Kind of like when I'm speaking as a professional speaker, I get very clear about what my why is. And when I understand what my why is, it really takes away a lot of my fears because I'm making my message about my audience. It's not about me, it's about them.
Where to start? Let's say I'm a woman. I go through cancer. I is what you say, the medical part pass it. How to get from there to that? We just saw you in a stage over there, like with a room full. And how go from that woman that can maybe one of our listeners tonight, like is in the bed, is thinking, this is hard. This is hard, and I may or may not have hair now right now, and I may or may not like I go to physical pain, good mental exaltation. How go through that point to this? Like how how we do that? Because it's a journey, it's a path that you already walk.
Right. Well, I wish I could say it's one thing, because in reality it's not. It's a multiple things. And it's something that you have to do a bit of soul searching to find what is your resilience recipe, right? We all have a recipe. We all have things that we can do to alter the course of our lives. And so sometimes we have to get still and we have to, look inside to see, what is it can we do for ourselves that will elevate our lives. And for me, family, having a strong support system, understanding what my why is, being, reconnecting with my purpose, and getting control of my thoughts. Because our self-limiting thoughts, what I found is over time, it's not so much as being diagnosed with cancer. is our biggest challenge. Sometimes it's our cancerous thoughts that can stop us
the
from
story we're telling to ourselves.
yeah, the story that we're telling to ourselves, right? And once you get control of your narrative and having a sense of self-awareness in terms of how you're communicating with yourself, I think it makes all the difference in the world. And finding gratitude.
Ooh,
Finding gratitude.
higher
When you
vibration.
wake up every day, I think
Yes.
that
Amen.
when you wake up every day, I think that's a gift. And sometimes
Amen.
we don't embrace that gift in the midst of our struggles and our trials and our tribulations because we feel so down and out and we get depressed and we operate from a place of lack rather than from a place of abundance. And we forget about what we do have, right? Sometimes we focus on the big picture and we don't think about the small wins, right? We don't think about, you know what? Today, instead of eating that cookie, I ate that banana because I know that banana is good for my health. And I know that that's what my doctor would want me to do. Right?
It's like one step, as I always say, like one step at a time. Not overwhelming with all the big umbrella, but one step at a time.
Absolutely.
What it make you good, what it make the journey better in that specific moment, and that will bring you to the other side, basically.
Absolutely.
You are an expert in resilience. Tell us, how is your definition, Michelle, of resilience? And how, of course, cancer play a role on that? And how, tell us about that definition of resilience for you.
I think resilience is being able to have the fortitude and the internal strength to overcome obstacles. But it's not just about overcoming them, but it's allowing yourself to bounce back from those obstacles, right? Because sometimes we can go through something that's challenging and that could potentially break us. But what makes a person resilient is, what did you learn from that experience? Right? What did you learn from it and what would you do differently? Because sometimes we go through some things in life and we don't learn from it and we find ourselves in the same situation over and over again. And then we get stressed out and we're saying, why, God, why me? Well, why not you? Why not you? The question is, what are you going to do about it?
True.
Right? Are you going to take ownership of your life and make those changes? Because a lot of times when we're struggling in life, it's not because we don't know the answer. We do know the answer, but because we're in our comfort zone, because we're operating from a place of fear, we don't do what we need to do to make those changes. We're not willing to look in the mirror to say, hey, I see you, right? I see, you not willing to allow yourself to be vulnerable. But until we can be vulnerable, until we can go deeper into our self-awareness and not only recognize our strengths, but also our weaknesses, because the world is really good about telling you, oh, what you're doing well, right? And good at pumping you up. But sometimes we have to face the truth and say to ourselves, no.
Absolutely. As I all the time say, it's like part of, it's like a reconstruction process for me. It's like, it's coming like the phoenix, like coming to the ashes. And then after the ashes, how all this beautiful art that also in Asia happened, that is like after a glass break, how to curate this art blended with gold and make it something. It's like the rebuild part, where it make us, make us get it through. Something that I also all the time try to mention to it, like every journey is specific, and you say so beautifully, you find your why. Your why was a book, put all this energy in audience. My why was create a podcast to talk to people. You find your why, but in your own beautiful way, and walk that path. Like, no comparing. For me, it was hard, like in the beginning, comparing. Like, this is a diagnosis that happened to me. Now I need to do all this with it. It's like, no, you say it's so beautiful. Find your why. If your why making cookies. Okay, now after my diagnostic, I will dedicate it to making cookies, and that was my make me happy, and that is the journey that I go like, whatever is their why over there after a diagnostic like this is more important than ever. Rebuild yourself in order to channel what bring you joy.
Absolutely.
Whatever that why is for you. Mm-hmm. For us, it's like a podcast, being on stage, being doing a book. For others, whatever your why is, just channel your energy in that, because I feel that resilience is that. Channel that energy. After life come and splash you.
Yes.
Find the energy to, you know what? Let me take the time to find my why and go to that path and put the energy that I need to look at myself in the mirror and like, yeah, I can do this, because no one else can do it for me.
Right. And Vanessa, talking about energy, you got to admit, did you go through chemotherapy?
I did not. Okay. I did not. It was like, I didn't know. So then I cut my whole hair because I didn't know they keep us in the limbo. Mm-hmm. Like, instead of you have or no have cancer, for me, it was like, you have cancer, but we don't know what stage you are. We don't know if you need chemo or not. I panicking. So I go and donate. I have like my hair was my waist. Yeah. I donated. I cut my hair very short. Yeah. And donated because I didn't know. I'm like, did I chemo? So I didn't go through chemo, but I know that you did go through chemo. Tell us about that, because I hear it's a process.
Yes. And no one is the same when it comes to chemotherapy. It affects everyone differently. I did have some side effects, but they were very minimal. I didn't throw up at all. I heard a lot of people can get sick to their stomach, and
you lose your hair.
Yeah.
Look at that picture. That picture is hilarious.
I know.
Take it in consideration. The losing the hair. A lot of people tell me losing the hair is one of the hardest things. Like looking yourself in the mirror with no hair. And look at you with a big smile. Like, here it is me, no hair.
I know. Yes, definitely lost my hair.
What was the feeling that day in that chair? Do you remember?
In that chair? Well, I don't know exactly what was going through my mind, but I have to tell you, based on that smile on my face, we talked about gratitude. I'm sure I was finding gratitude in that moment and saying, hey, look at me, right? This is what you see. This is what you see. What you see is what you get. And I'm practically bald, but hey, that's me, the
you're
authentic
rocking
me.
That ball. You're like, right. If you're listening, you have to go to YouTube and see the video, because this picture is hilarious.
Yes, yes.
Yes, good.
But yeah, it was a journey. It was a journey, and just like I said, by the grace of God, with family and having hope and cultivating resilience as much as possible.
Amen. And something that you've been doing, and have multiple letters or recommendation for your beautiful show. We have for Los Angeles Women Theater. We have for Fairview. We have a show coming up. Yes. This show is happening August 25th. Yes. Look at that. Drive. The Journey Poetically Healing. So this is a beautiful, and again, multiple letters saying how wonderful you're on the stage. Everyone that see you in the stage want to see you again in the stage. Tell us about how was it? How you put together this beautiful show? Is so well acclimated. Like, only beautiful things. I have here letters and everything telling like how wonderful and meaningful and intentional you are in this show that is coming up on August 25th.
Yes. Well, a couple years ago, I received a grant through the Minnesota State Arts Board to write and produce another one-woman show. And I did. And let me tell you, it was a lot of work, but it was so worth it. A friend of mine suggested that this go around, when I write my one-woman show, that I write it in 3 acts. And I'm so glad I did, because I was able to tell 3 different women's stories.
Wow.
Yes. However, I forgot how involved it could be with writing and performing a one-person show. And so with the 3 acts, I portrayed about 19 different characters.
What?
Yes, about 19 different characters.
This is epic. I'm like, no wonder when they put her in when you open the folder of the one woman, she's there. She's like the one. No wonder you were rocking the stage.
And so I submitted one of the acts titled Thrive, the Journey of Poetically Healing to the Los Angeles Women's Theater Festival. And to my surprise, I was selected to go to Los Angeles and perform my show. And it was amazing. It really was. So honored to have that experience and to continue on my journey of making a difference in the lives of women. But also men have breast cancer as well.
Exactly.
So,
and they were also very impressed. And that was one of the letters that I was reading in the beginning, at the top of the show. They also were so impressed about your performance there and how you transmit all that journey and how you were able to perform all these roles and transmit all that you gone through, but also that you script for all their experiences. Tell us about the show in 25th. Where is it? How we can get tickets? Like, tell us about it.
I'd love to. I love to. Well, the show takes place on August the 25th at CCX Media in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota, 6900 Winnetka Avenue North. The show starts at 7 p.m. And the great part about it is it's free.
What?
Yes, it's free. It's open to the public. And I'll have an opportunity to perform this one-woman show, Thrive, the Journey of Poetically Healing. This particular character, she tells her story of experiencing a double mastectomy, and she expresses herself through poetry. But it's also about strength and resilience and self-love and learning to embrace her humanity, to show up as the best of who she is, despite losing her breast. And so I would love for those who've been impacted by breast cancer to come. I would love for organizations who may want to come to see the show
and understand better, because yes, what I read also, it was very informative, like in a way of seeing the perspective that a woman that going through this is going through. So learn of what the journey look like in the act.
But also to give organizations an opportunity to come and see the show, so that in October for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, if they're interested in me in booking the show for me to come and perform it at their organizations, they're welcome to reach out to me.
What? Yes. So, okay, first of all, it's I cannot believe this is a free ticket, free entry to go and basically see all this, and then you can book her for October. It's a win-win. Why are you doing on August 25th? Like that, the Brooklyn Center is where you need to be.
Yeah.
We post the flyer, we make sure to post the information, and we make sure, yes, to see you there. Wow, this is so beautiful of what you create and with the gift you have, and and I'm not talking about the gift of the cancer, because this is a terrible thing that happened to us, but with the gift of gratitude and transformation you did with it.
Yes. And speaking of gratitude, I just want to mention that I'm very grateful that CCX Media is partnering with me in terms of supporting me with my one-woman show. So it will be at their studio, and they, to me, represent what community is all about in terms of supporting me and helping me to get my message out. So just have nothing but gratitude for CCX Media.
It is something that I all the time say, like, it is those spaces that open the door. It's the same with this studio, NBC Studios, and Gave. He opened the space for create this podcast. And it's these spaces that are open for us in order to allow ourselves to present this to the world. So forever grateful. I know that gratitude you have in your heart, because I have it with this studio as well.
Yes.
So thank you for sharing that. And I think in gratitude, and say thank you to those people that make it possible is very important.
Absolutely. And I can't forget to mention Mary Harris and Thomasina Petrus, who directed me in my one-woman show. I have nothing but gratitude for them as well. and have nothing but love for each one of those women. So very grateful.
I have nothing but love for you. You're being amazing.
Thank
It's
you.
been, you take me in a roller coaster. You are a woman of a lot of accomplishments and transmitting and empowering other women in this journey. So I really, really appreciate that you have the time to sit down with me, and especially as I say in your birthday celebration week.
Oh.
It's a win. It's a win. It's summer. I know there's a lot of going on. So thank you so much for taking the time for that. I want to close with a beautiful poem, because I think poetry is something that it's a lot for you. It's mean a lot to you. So I want to share, if you're okay sharing and closing with this, a beautiful poem.
Absolutely.
That I believe you have over there.
I do. As you know, I'm a poetic storyteller and a resilience speaker. And I have a poem that I wrote titled Women Rising.
Oof.
And this poem is dedicated to women such as yourself. I want to dedicate it to you because I see you rising in the community and making a difference and giving women like me a voice to be seen and to be heard. And so I have nothing but gratitude for you, and I wish you all the best in everything that you do with your Tetas podcast. You are a shining star, so nothing but gratitude for you.
Thank you,
but also
Michelle.
women, I see women rising. And yes, we have women who are out there who are struggling every day, who are being diagnosed with breast cancer and struggling to get out of bed, struggling to just face the world with all that they're going through. But I hold on to hope. I hold on to this vision of seeing women rising. And I just hope that when women hear this poem, that they are inspired to continue to rise and shine. I see women rising, like the warm buttermilk biscuits my grandmother used to make, like the golden sun as it rises from the east, shining on my dark ebony face, like children as they awaken eagerly and enthusiastically for gifts on a cold Christmas day, rising hungry, heart pounding, feet stomping, voices screaming, arms hugging, as they get lost in the midst of something so much greater than themselves. I see women rising who are no longer bound by their self-limiting thoughts, fears, and insecurities, who are making a difference within and beyond their thriving and impoverished communities. Women who are taking a stand to embrace the light and gifts from within, living beyond the world's expectations and boxes they put them in, fighting for every width and depth of their dreams, creating holes in that box to make fit for a queen. I see women rising, echoing the sentiments and bravery of their ancestors, standing on the shoulders of those who came before them as they pave the way for their successors, wanting more out of life and all things it has in store, yet trying to do better than the generations before, overcoming struggles and obstacles, knocking down doors, unwilling to compromise their truth to be so much more. I see women rising like the redwoods of the giant sequoias of the ever-commanding presence of the Yosemite, strong, bold, and resilient, standing with power and authority as if to say, I am somebody. Somebody worthy of their magnitude, of their capabilities, despite the dream haters who resisted, despite the violent and unforgiving storms of life that may blow their way, testing the strength of their backbone, fighting for survival day to day. I see women rising, stepping out on faith and letting their voices and their courageous actions be known, digging deep within themselves to go places they've never gone, rising above and beyond the glass ceilings that may plague their dreams, reaching as if they are going to the mountaintops of the Himalayas, despite how grand or insurmountable it may seem. I have faith in you and all that you do. Stand in your power despite the path that you choose. You are women rising. Yes.
This is so beautiful.
Oh.
It touched myself in so many ways.
Absolutely. Oh.
You
You are such a blessing and you are such a gift. So thank you.
Thank you for sharing such a beautiful piece.
See, now you're going to make me cry. Yeah, I knew that when I
this
met
was
you, there was
powerful.
something so special about you. I did. And when my daughter seen your videos on YouTube, she saw your energy and your compassion that you have, and just, you know, just everything that you give of yourself. So thank you for being you and all that you do.
Same. Thank you for help us all to rise.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you everyone for listening. Another Tetas episode. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
And
My
thank
pleasure.
you for listening. Thank you for being there. Love you all so, so much.
Thank you. Oh.
MBC. No relation to NBC.